Truth be told, there is law enforcement to worry about. Even with the most fantastic of laws, it is still inherent in the nature of man to crave freedom in disregard for boundaries. Man's curiosity is usually at contradistinction with laid down rules. That's where law enforcement comes in. Typically for crimes against it, INEC has to fall back on regular law enforcement agencies and processes. The best INEC can do, which it has been doing anyway, is to make complaint to the appropriate bodies at whose discretion complaints are investigated, prosecuted, or discontinued. For what it's worth, when it comes to enforcement, INEC is handicapped due to legislative constraints by the way the new Electoral Act is designed. INEC is not a law enforcement agency, and so it remains destitute of powers to prosecute criminal breaches. This is because INEC's prosecutorial independence stops at choice and control of legal representation in election petition matters only. This is the reason for which INEC has been pushing for the Electoral Offences Bill, which in itself is a very welcome development that could unshackle the legislative constraints on prosecuting offences. Better still, the National Assembly is working towards getting this bill passed before the general elections this year, 2023. Notwithstanding this hiccup, however, law enforcement must not always be remedial or post-mortem. The best approach is the preventive approach. Hence, in exercising its powers to make committees under Section 7 of both the old Act and the new, INEC has created good association with law enforcement, first through the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, ICCES, and through its Standing Committee on Security. Just as a highlight, ICCES is made up of the Office of the National Security Advisor and 17 well-established agencies of government, including Nigeria Police Force, Ministry of Police Affairs, Police Service Commission, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian Air Force, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, State Security Service, National Intelligence Agency, Ministry of Interior, Nigeria Correctional Service, which is formerly known as Nigerian Prison Service, Nigerian Immigration Service, Nigeria Customs Service, Fire Service, Federal Road Safety Commission, Civil Defense, and the National Youth Service Corps. This is an artillery of government agencies, all solidly behind INEC's Standing Committee on Security. So, it is obvious that such a spectrum of government agencies should ordinarily provide INEC with regular engagements and a vast pool of resources, intelligence, man-hours, specialization, experience, security data, workforce strength, coverage, and local outreach wide enough to secure both its structures and its activities. The question remains that, in the face of these attacks on INEC offices since the formation of ICCES, and not just for these past 4 years, what has happened so far? Just look at the data. It is not rocket science that the data distribution tells a whole lot more about the recurrence of these attacks. It is really not enough for INEC to publish a report on what attacks they have endured so far without any defined course of action for these states. What happened to direct voters education? What happened to community or town hall outreaches and stakeholder engagements? All these can help in achieving more permanent preventive solutions for election insecurity and destruction of democratic structures. Well, as an end note, the sad part is that precedents can be set for the remaining otherwise docile areas, and these attacks may ripple out of proportion. But there is an anticipated bill that will come anytime soon and we hope this time it addresses and rectifies destruction of democratic structures in Nigeria. We will discuss this in subsequent videos when the bill is passed.